Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're back, and we kicked the only person with culture off the podcast for good.
This episode's already gonna suck.
Yeah.
We know it.
Yeah, too tall people. Height's too much.
Yeah, we don't have enough height diversity on this podcast.
Not enough melanin.
Yeah, you know, I was watching this clip from a House episode where he's like, what makes people black? And the guy was like, because we have more love than you or something like that. And he's like, I was going to say melanin. But
House, classic show. That show was so good. Just so witty.
Oh, yeah.
All the time. Addicted to painkillers. Gotta love it.
House was the shit.
Yeah.
That was, right now me and Marley are watching Breaking Bad, but that was the show we watched before that was House. We went through the whole thing.
Nice.
Because, I had watched plenty of it, but I never got to the finale, so I didn't really know how it ended, but...
I don't really remember either. My mom watched the shit out of that show. That show, nip tuck around that time, too.
I tried nip tuck. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, it's a little... I don't know.
It's a little odd.
Off-putting, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, good for anyone who's willing to push the boundaries in that way and really make something that's crazy.
And that show was game changing for TV too. That was one of the only first shows when I was a kid that they were like, you can't stay up and watch this. They started putting something a little raunchy on cable television.
Yeah. What channel was that on? Do you remember?
FX, I believe.
It was an FX show?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Because I was gonna The Sopranos was that was
that was HBO.
Yeah, that was
I'm talking normal cable channels.
Yeah. Well, in general, I mean, Sopranos was the first show that really pushed the limit. Both pushed the limit in that way and had really made it was it's basically just a long movie. Yeah. It's what The Sopranos is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, and HBO, I feel like HBO was ahead of the game in that too. They had a few really, really good shows. Sopranos obviously different here, but damn, what was the one where they're Entourage? People fucking loved Entourage. I'm pretty sure that was HBO too.
Isn't that still going on too?
No, I don't think so. It ended. Maybe they made another one. I could see them doing something like that, trying to cash in on the name, but they finished the show, and I think they had a movie after. But I don't think it's a thing anymore.
Because I thought a couple years, 5+ years ago, I had heard someone talking about the new Entourage stuff. So I thought maybe it had been going on for a while.
Maybe it has. I don't know. I honestly just watched it 5 to 6 years ago, all the way through for the first time. But
yeah, that is one that's on my list. But in this day and age, it's I feel like I have just a mental list of shows that I want to watch, and I'll never get to them. A, because it's daunting, and B, I'm you know what? Why don't I just watch Breaking Bad for the third time?
That's what I was just about to say, dude. I have so many comfort shows and animes and stuff that I go back to and watch. This weekend when I was sick, I was you know what? I'm gonna just turn on some Yu-Gi-Oh! And I got through in 4 days, got through 3 seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh wow!
Played that Master Duel game and started learning the card game, watching YouTube videos. So that's what I did for 4 days while I was sick. I was very pissed off for a few of those hours, bro. That game's fucking complex. I'm what the? It's not the old game, set a card down, set a monster, set a trap card. Now it's there's people that can summon their whole teams on their fucking first turn. So you gotta figure out what cards negate monster effects, card effects, trap. It's it's like chess, even harder even.
Sure.
You have to plan out your moves. What do they have in their hand and stuff. So
sure, but you're playing this on the computer, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's on phone. It's on my phone,
sure.
But I also linked my account to my computer. It's easier to watch YouTube videos over strategy that way if it's on the other screen.
Perfect.
Yeah,
dude. I think it was last week. I was on 420 actually, because I was in a crappy mood that whole day anyway. So for some reason I thought it'd be a good idea.
I can't believe we canceled an episode on 420.
I know,
crazy. But you can't smoke, so it's probably
Well, it was that, and we ended up going to her family's house, so it was gonna.
They were blazing.
No, they weren't blazing. Not at all. I wanted to make the joke. I was oh hey, happy 420. Who brought the blunt? But I was in such a crappy mood that I didn't even want to.
I was in a better.
Yeah, but anyways, I decided to play I was trying to play Half-Life on hard, and I actually did beat the game on hard, which was amazing. I had 2% health left, and then I'm over here come on. I'm oh yeah, fuck baby. I'm like fucking getting into it. And Molly walks out like, I'm glad you, I'm glad you beat it. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy?
Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy?
That's great. That's great. Half-Life, that came out on 360? Is that like that old?
I think 2 might be on 360. Yeah. But I just play on PC.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and you know it's weird because I played with the controller for the longest time, but I'm finally getting back into like the controller mouse and keyboard. Yeah. Another thing Lolo hates.
Oh, he doesn't like mouse and keyboard games.
Oh well, he always talks shit about like Apex, like PC players.
And he's he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like I'm actually into like the Pro League. I like follow Pro League players in Apex because I like watching like their tournament style. Like whenever they do their championship tournaments, I tune in on Twitch. But aim assist is so OP nowadays that like mouse and keyboard. Nobody plays at mouse and keyboard in Apex. There's like one player per team, maybe does, but there's a lot of full controller teams. In Call of Duty, nobody plays mouse and keyboard, and then in Halo, nobody plays mouse and keyboard. Maybe 1 or 2 pros, but like it's just like controller has the advantage. The aim assist is so crazy, and like people have just been playing on controllers their whole life. I play Apex mouse and keyboard just because that was the game that I learned mouse and keyboard on. So I stick to it. Like Valorant, I'll play on MNK. But when I play Halo and Call of Duty, no shot. Always using a controller.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been getting into it more. I think like just playing Half-Life for as long as I did, I was like, and then I played for 420 or the day before I did a live stream of Grandpa High and Retro. Have you heard of that game? Molly, pull up the trailer for that. It's pretty funny. It's basically this old grandpa's like just smokes a shit ton of weed, and then this lady like was like, I'll fuck you if you come save me or whatever. So it was okay. It was a little Grandpa High and Retro. It was a little, do the trailer. It was a little overrated, I thought, but
a little overrated.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Oh, what the hell?
I'm sorry, lady, but I'm not doing shit.
I will have sex with you.
Wait, what?
If you do this for me, I will sleep with you.
I'm on my way. Bring your guns downstairs and meet me at the door.
Okay. Holy shit. Triple tap.
Wait a little bit. Fuck me, a lot longer. The boss will need to wait a lot longer.
I'm too tired and too old for this.
Fucking like Max Payne fucking grandpa fucking story. That's crazy.
Do you mind turning off the Blu-ray? I think it's like going to the Blu-ray. Or not the Blu-ray. The Bluetooth.
The Blu-ray.
Just turn that Bluetooth speaker off with the remote. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys.
There's a game that you might like. It's called Schedule 1. It just came out. It's like $20, but you're basically running your own drug supply. Yeah, like drug chain. It's like involved in like it's like you can move and like hire people on, I think, go out and kill people, like, and then you're making different supplies that give you different powers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my friend Connor was showing it to me.
I think I saw that on Steam, actually.
Yeah, it's like one of the top rated games right now. A lot of people are playing it.
Yeah, that's what I love about the day and age of indie gaming is like in like the last 10 years, I feel like the ideas that have come out of like something like this, right? Like the ability for people to just like create like these wild games, like, I guess Rockstar did like GTA, but like think of like, most gaming companies, they would not make something like this. No, no, not at all. But like one guy is just like dedicated. He's like, all right,
and those single dev games too. And like that's the cool thing about the industry is if it's a decent game, decent story, some streamer will pick it up and it will get like views and you will make some money. Like Power World. That Pokemon with guns, dude, like that shit blew up. There's so much that Nintendo's like, dude, we're gonna have to sue your ass.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I don't know what the status is on that, but I've heard that they've changed.
I need to go in. I'll get an update for it. I need to go in and play it. They've had to change some things, like the ball capturing motion, I think, and like the summoning. I think they have a patent on that, and I think they've taken that out of the game, if I've read it correctly. I haven't played though.
Sure.
Yeah, I got into one of those servers. I made one with my brother, but then too many random people just started showing up and playing all the time when we weren't on, dude. I was like, it was me. I was one of the only people paying for it. I was like, get the fuck out. I haven't played it since, dude.
Dude, that's another thing about like online gaming. Like, I just feel weird about like playing with kids. Like, it's a big part of why I've never tried Fortnite. Because like I just don't want to play with a bunch of 13-year-olds.
Yeah, that's true. I get in a party chat if I'm playing Call of Duty. I'll get in there and talk some shit for sure. I mean, I've probably told many kids to go fuck themselves and that I fucked their mother. Like, I mean, Call of Duty lobbies are a little bit more ruthless. I feel like Fortnite. Yeah, I'd rather just play with a friend and be in party chat. I don't want to be trying to play with random kids. Usually, I just don't talk if I hear it. Hey guys, I'm just like. Mic off this round. I don't want to say anything that you might repeat. Your parents gonna come in here. Who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah, right. That's always. I remember this one YouTube clip back in the day. It was like some kid was on live and his mom came in and it was like she was just like yelling at him for some shit and like everybody in the chat's just laughing their ass off because she's like do your homework or some stupid bullshit like that. Like, what? Who the fuck are you talking to?
Yeah.
God, I remember my parents wouldn't let me play RuneScape.
What the hell? That's
because
crazy.
Well, dude, they were so paranoid about like, which I mean for good reason, but like they kind of just took it too far, like the whole like Predator thing and stuff. Like they didn't want me online for that. But like I remember my mom, she refused to get an Apple account because she didn't trust Apple with her credit card information. Which in hindsight's hilarious because they're like one of the most like universally like one of the most secure like companies.
RuneScape
when it comes
did
to
have a whole thing about. Didn't they have like a whole issue about people's cards being on their account?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure RuneScape had like so if that was like a reason that she was worried, she probably dodged the bullet.
Well, no, it wasn't with for RuneScape specifically. It wasn't for the card stuff.
Okay,
it was just for like she didn't want me online talking. But like there was no voice chat. It was just like text chat. Yeah. That game was fun though.
I mean, it still holds up, Mike. It had its most players playing like very recently, just because it's on the mobile phone. Zach, who was supposed to come, I wanted to come with JJ, but it sounds like he's not interested. He might have wanted to talk about RuneScape though. Yeah. And then my homie Tio, he was at Topgolf last night. Oh, bro, I've got a story about last night. I might lose my job, but he was at Topgolf last night and he was playing on his phone. Yeah. So last night, I was at work and. I was honestly having a pretty good night, but then this like old lady came up and she was like wanting to get some wine, and we gave her this like bottle. It's like called Split Monetto Rosé, and it's pretty expensive. And there's this guy
How
with
much?
her, $17. And I guess they wanted another glass of wine on top of that, and I just charged them for the Split Monetto because I didn't know. It was like miscommunication between me and the other bartender, and I brought it and I was like $17. This dude's like $17 for this one bottle. I was like. Yeah, bro. And he's like, why is that $17? I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't make the menu. I was like, did you look at the menu? And he's like, oh, I can't believe I just asked him that. Like, it was the most offensive question in the world. And I was like, here's another glass of your Sauv Blanc. I was like, that's on me. That's you. I was like, go ahead. But then he was like, just still looked like he had a stick up his ass. And he just like being a little bitch. He ended up going back out there, and I waited a few minutes, and I was like, hey, if you guys see a douchebag in a Milwaukee Brewers hat, don't let him come back. Don't let him come to the main bar. I shit you not 20 seconds later, this guy comes running through the fucking doors downstairs. He's like, I'm the douchebag! Yeah. And I was like, yeah, dude. And I'm just like, I had to have been laughing. God, he can't even get over the bar. And he's like, and my manager is holding him back, who didn't have an earpiece in. Only manager didn't have an earpiece. Fucking, he's like, no, he's like, Austin, get your shit, get upstairs. They're like, this lady's like accused me of taking her card. I'm like, I don't have your card. I was like, she has your card. She's gonna ring in your order, whatever. And like that guy just like walked to the back, so I had to go sit upstairs for a while. But I guess he was out there telling my manager and another server, just bitching at him for like 10 minutes. And he was like, yo, that guy's an asshole in there. That bartender's an asshole in there. And they wouldn't leave him alone. They're like, this wine's flat, even though I like just opened up the it's like a singular bottle like that big. So we just opened it up. He's like, this wine's flat. They're bitching. They wouldn't leave him alone. But then they just hear over the mic, hey, if you guys see the Milwaukee guy in the Milwaukee Brewers hat, don't let that douchebag back in the bar. And he's just like, is that about me? And he fucking, I respect this part. He goes back for the beer on his table and then storms in. Is what the server told me. And I was like, that's respectable. But no, that guy, I wish they would have let me. I mean, I'm glad they didn't let me stay down there because I'd have been like, yeah, my bad, bro. I should have called you an asshole. Like, dude.
I should have said to your face.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to do that. I didn't think that he was going to hear it. All my managers were like decently cool about it. They thought I was going to get wrote up, but then I had to make it. They called head honcho. And I had to make a statement. They're like, can you write it out? And I like got one sentence in. And I'm like, yo, do I really have to write? I was like, can I just call him? I was like, I don't want to write this out. And they're like, oh, would you rather type it? I'm like, yeah. I was like, who the fuck writes these days?
That's funny. Was he drunk?
Oh, hammered, bro.
Oh, I'm
and
sure, yeah.
And he was like, I was like standing there next to my manager for a second because I didn't know if he wanted me to stay there or go upstairs. And they were like, we brought this up to you 2 hours ago. So their whole group was a bunch of fucking Karens who'd been bitching all night, just giving everybody a hard time. Like the servers out there, like that was hosting his bay, was just like they bitched about everything. They bitched about a pitcher not being there in time. They wanted a bottle of Prosecco, but we didn't have any. And they were just bitching about that, asking for drinks right when they came back. Like they were just giving people a hard time all night. And he was calling me an asshole out there. So I think that, like, it's all fair. Like, it should all just level out. I don't think that I should get in any trouble. Like, that dude was calling me names out there. He obviously didn't deserve to be. Are you going to let him you're just going to let him talk shit to me like that to your man? Because I, at that point, didn't do anything. All I said was, did you look at the menu? Like, that's all I said. I was like, I don't know. I don't make the prices, dude. Did you check the menu?
Yeah.
And he got so offended and decided to go out there and call me an asshole. So you're going to let him talk that way about me, but I can't call him a douchebag for being a douchebag?
Well, and dude, I don't think I've ever heard. That's the first time I've ever heard somebody call a $17 bottle of wine expensive. Like when I think of like,
no, it's like a little ass bottle. I mean, it's like Minetto Rosé. It's like a single serve. Like it's a little glass bottle that you put in.
Oh, I see.
But I mean, you're drinking wine at Topgolf.
Well, yeah, and still, like, I mean, if you like proportion that out to like a bottle of wine, that's still not that crazy. I feel like when I think of an expensive bottle of wine, I think like $100+.
Yeah, for real. And like that, so you're probably gonna spend like $60 at Top. I don't know what they charge at Topgolf, to be honest. I did look at the menu though, and the wine prices weren't in there, so I was like, oh. I was like, they do that on purpose. Yeah, that's my bad.
Well, who orders wine at Topgolf?
That's what I'm saying. And then like they watch me open it and they just want to sit there and bitch that it's flat. And I was like, we just opened the single serve bottle, cracked it open and poured it in the glass. I don't know. They're just being super extra. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to fight it. They said something about trying to just push me to my final warning too. And I haven't gotten in trouble yet. I haven't gotten written up. So I'm going to be like, no, that's not fair either. Like you're not going to put me on my final warning.
Dude, they just did it to me at work.
Oh yeah.
Put me to my final. Yeah, They caught me hanging out in the closet.
Oh no, are you taking a nap?
No, I wasn't. Like, so, I have social anxiety and shit, so like I just get overwhelmed sometimes.
Yeah.
It's I'm not gonna say the company, but it's at a corporate environment.
Yeah.
A lot of people around. So, but like, yeah, I had the light off, and they thought I was taking a nap. And I had to tell them, like, yeah, no, I just get kind of overwhelmed sometimes.
Just calm down the senses.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, we were going to fire you, but then we know you do a good job, so this is just going to be like a write up and like final warning type deal. So,
yeah. Does it like expire after a certain time or just?
I'm not sure.
I think ours is like 30 days, but
that's it.
Yeah, I want to say. Well, damn. I mean, that's probably more for people being late and shit.
Okay.
And like not showing up for their shifts and stuff. Yeah, probably not calling some patron a douchebag. But I mean, like that dude, I'll stand. Like, and when I talk to my boss, it's just gonna be like, yo, I'm really not sorry for calling him that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that over the Topgolf airwaves for sure. And I'd mostly regret it because other people had to deal with it. If I was sitting there, I'd have just fucking been screaming at the dude all night and told him to get the fuck out. And go ahead.
No, hey man, I agree. Like, working in bars and stuff, like in the past, like when you're dealing with drunk people, like sometimes that's like the only way you can fucking handle it, really,
Yeah.
because like they come in with their high honcho, they like expect you to like kiss their feet while you're serving them, and it's like, you know, there's like a mutual exchange here, you know, like you wouldn't go to a grocery store and be like, I mean, some people would, I guess, but like you wouldn't like go to a grocery store and like expect that kind of level of like if the people checking you out were like not that way, you wouldn't like go all crazy about it, right?
Yeah.
But there's something about like going out to a bar or a restaurant, drinking alcohol that like just kind of fires that up, like, you know,
I agree.
in the first place.
Yeah, there's like a weird sense of entitlement from people, like they're entitled to something. It's like, no, I'm here to make your drinks, and like if you're cool with me, like I'm cool with you, and I treat you nice right off the bat, but like you were just throwing out negative energy our whole exchange, and it's like not my problem. Like honestly, that's I fucking serve you the alcohol, you pay for the alcohol. That's it, dude. And it's just like, if you're gonna give me attitude, I'm not under the I don't live by the moral rule of customers always right in the industry. But I mean, if it was a normal bar, I probably wouldn't be in any trouble. But since it's corporate, like Topgolf, and they got like the TG PG stuff, I think that's the thing that's gonna get me. But yeah, like I said, haven't got any trouble there before. We'll see.
Yeah.
But don't come to Topgolf and be a douchebag, because I'll tell you, you're a douchebag. And everybody else there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I really hate the concept of like the customer's always right too. Like, you know, I think when you're going into those places, if you're going to a restaurant, like it really is a mutual exchange. Like, you're giving me money, I'm giving you service, and if the party that's giving you service feels like, you know, you're acting a certain way or not, you know, like if somebody was doing that in your home, like if you invite people into your home and you were acting like that, you would kick them out. Right? But like for some reason, if you're in a workplace, like you just have to suck that up. Like, no, like if they're not going to be respectful in your establishment, in my mind, you have every right to tell them, either give them that same energy or say, hey, you know what, it's time for you to leave.
Yeah, for real. And like they were giving everybody, I didn't know at the time, but they were giving like their bay host a hard time, and then to go out and like call me names to my manager too. It's like, I don't feel bad at all. You deserved it. You're going to sit there. And it was a simple exchange that we had. And I asked you if you looked at the menu, and like, you didn't ask about the, like, why didn't you ask? You just gave me your card. Like, it's kind of on you, dude. And like, honestly, if you're out there, you're not supposed to come into the bar. You're supposed to get served by your server. So I was doing you a favor by even allowing this to happen.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit there and disrespect me and go and talk shit. Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, it just shows like a complete lack of. I mean, I've always said this. I think every person on the planet Earth should do some kind of restaurant or service job, because it teaches you so much about people. Like it teaches you about, you know, the good and the bad, right? And then like, you know, like from my experience, like I do judge people. Like I don't like it's gonna sound really shitty, but like if you do a really shitty job serving me, I'm like, I'll still tip you, but like I'm not gonna give you 20%. And people think that's crappy, but like, you know, I do think like in a serving job, like you are a salesman in a way. And if you do a poor job doing that, then like you can't just automatically expect people to just tip you a certain amount, you know? And if you don't like it, get a new job.
I mean, you just have to check in on people. Like, even the bare minimum, I don't really care. Honestly, I haven't had, like, horrible service. Like, it'd have to be a lot. Like, the food have to suck. They'd have to, like, not check on me. My shit would have to be empty a lot. Like, there's very minimal stuff that you have to do when taking care. I know sometimes it can get overwhelming. But, I mean, I agree with you, and that's your right to do that. I usually tip no matter what, just because, like, I work in the service industry. So, and, like, whenever I go to Topgolf, I still, like, if I just get, like, a pop or something, I'm just, like, they're taking up a free bay, I usually tip them at least $10. Even if I only spend like $8, I still usually give them a good tip, just because I'm kind of there for free anyway.
No, I agree. If you do like the bare minimum, I'll give you at least 20%.
Yeah,
25% honestly, if I can, because I do respect that position in a sense. Like I do understand what it's like to be there, but by that same merit, if you do a shit job, like it almost like not even like accidentally, because I think sometimes you can tell if somebody's like, I don't know, like anxious or just is having a bad day or something.
Yeah, or like it's super busy, like you're just aware.
Exactly, but there's something about like if you are clearly just not giving a shit, or like I don't know, like you come and you
over there on your phone and you're just like parched.
Exactly.
Yeah,
dude. One time we were at, I don't know if it was me and her or someone else, but we were at Outback. and this server came, and he asked us to like scoot over, and he wanted to like sit down at
to
the
like
booth.
to take your order.
And
Hey, you mind?
it was so weird and bizarre. I'm like, I've never had this happen before.
No, I've like sat down at the table next to him and been like, "What do you guys need?" Whenever I take orders, just like if it's open, you know.
One of the last times me and Molly went to IHOP. I think I posted about this on Facebook. There was this lady who well, first of all, she was our server, and she dropped one of the chicken things or something, and then it was late at night, so everybody in the kitchen is just talking shit about her, and that was pretty funny. So she got us new chicken, and that was great. But we tipped her well and everything, but at the end, she's checking us out. And she's like, "What do you think about Biden and Trump?" This is right at the 2024 election. And
no.
I was so taken aback. I was like, I've never been to a restaurant and had one of the employees ask me about
Coleman's
this.
like, "I'm glad you asked."
Do you know about anarchism? But yeah, we were just kind of both like, yeah. I don't know. She's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm voting for Trump.
That's Iowa, baby. I can't believe that they said Iowa was predicted to be blue at one point. At the beginning of them, that's fucking. Iowa looks like it could go blue. I'm like, you guys obviously don't know shit because I live here. And I'm
right. Well, it's because of Obama.
Yeah,
because it went blue for Obama both times, and then they think that's gonna go like that again. And
Obama did throw himself out there this election hard. He threw himself out there hard this election.
Calling out. Did you see the clip where he calls out black people?
Oh no!
Try to find that, Molly.
I thought you were gonna say when he called out Hillary or back in the day, or no, Kamala. He called out Kamala this election. I don't think she's strong enough to Joe Biden. And they see him lip syncing. I don't think she's a strong enough candidate.
Type black men. Calls out black men. See if you can find that. I don't even know if you can find the clip.
Support Trump.
Oh, okay. Go to that. Go to that first one. Or
it's a little 30 second. Yeah, a little 30 second.
Why is everybody putting up with ads like it's 2010? It's 20.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
And you could just see all the other black men in the room were just like,
but it's it's at a Democratic office. It's out of a Harris office.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they've just brought in. They're like, you're gonna vote for Trump. Come to this, and then they just bring in Obama. Obama's just there, like, oh yeah, you guys think that you're gonna vote for Trump? They're like, what the fuck, Obama?
Yeah, I can't believe there's still people to this day who love that man just for the fact that he's black.
Yeah, you didn't watch Snowden. Obviously. That pretty much did it for me. I was just like, they're all the same. All politics. All politicians, dude.
Yeah, don't bring up the 96% civilian death rate during the drone bombings. Or the fact that he killed 2 Americans. Don't bring that up.
Nope. And he's so fucking rich now. I've seen. Yeah. He's so rich, dude.
Find that real quick. What his net worth is. I'm curious. Sorry, Molly. I'm enslaving you today. We're looking for a new producer if anybody wants to.
Yeah, we had somebody message me and they're like, oh man, I do this. And then they're like, actually, I don't know. I might need to golf on Sundays. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Holy shit. His net worth is $70 million.
That's crazy.
Oh my God. Well, he made most of that
primary source of wealth, presidential salary and pension, book, podcast, and Netflix deals.
Of course. I mean, most of that
he
is
won
the
a
book
Nobel
and Netflix
Peace.
deals.
When did he win a Nobel Peace Prize?
Damn. The standards are low. It's a low bar to me. Fuck, I could probably win that shit.
I mean, I think you're more deserving than Obama was.
Right? I've said the N-word at least 3 times in this podcast, and I could probably win it. Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize, which came with a holy shit, $1.4 million.
He donated it to a number of different charities that were all created by him.
Yeah, right. That all probably paid him back later. And I doubt he. I know it says that he donated it, but I doubt he donated the whole fucking thing. There's no way.
Who fucking knows, dude?
Well, and that's the whole problem with like the whole charity thing, right? It's like it sounds really good to be like, oh, hey, I'm gonna give my money to this, like, you know, when rich people do, I'm gonna give my money to this charity, but then like they're also part of that charity, so then the money is mostly just circling back.
Have you ever watched Ozarks?
No.
Yeah, they do a breakdown in that. There's like some politics stuff. I don't want to like ruin the show because you should watch the show. It's fucking great.
It's on my radar.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, one of those. Fuck, dude. I'll get to it eventually. But yeah, they're just like the charities that are created by politicians and the organizations that they're donating to and stuff. It's just like it's all just a big fucking circle of money.
Yeah. Did you ever see House of Cards?
No, I haven't. I feel probably shouldn't start it now. Kevin Spacey.
Well, there is something that's like kind of ominous about it.
Yeah, true.
With the fact that it's that man.
Yeah.
You know, or like, did you ever see American Beauty?
Mm-mm.
It was back from '99. He was still pretty young, but in that movie, he's like attracted to this like I think she's in the movie. I think in real life actually she was 17. Which that was a really weird thing too because they did like this nude scene and like. But like they got permission for it because the parents were there, but like the parents were porn stars or something like that.
The fucking evil age of Hollywood too, probably.
Well, yeah, and I think like her and Kevin Spacey like cuddled in bed for a little bit to like kind of get intimate, get into the mood, you know. Fucking creepy, dude.
What the fuck? Dude?
But anyways, like so like watching that movie now, it almost gives it like a whole other layer of like because like the movie doesn't. Like it doesn't by any means what's the term? Like glorify it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't say like this is a good thing. It's really like looking at
or like romanticize it. Doesn't like make it seem like
because in the end so spoiler alert.
Yeah, you're good. I don't fucking
this
care.
movie's
I'm
like
never
30
gonna
years
watch
old.
this.
So. Spoiler alert. He like takes off her shirt at the end of it and then he kind of realizes what he's doing. He's like I would be a lucky guy, but I can't. Or I think she like tells him that she's a virgin, even though like the whole movie she's talking about like how because she's like a model, so she's like talking about like how all these guys fuck her and all that stuff, and then it comes down and she's like, "Oh, I'm actually a virgin." I feel like that shit happens a lot too. Like, well, I mean, for men and women, but like everybody just talks up like, you know. I think my ex-wife actually lost her virginity at like a really young age, and it was because her friend like said that she had sex before and like she should try it, and then afterwards she was like, "Oh no, I've actually never had sex."
Jeez, yeah,
like, that shit's fucked up.
Yeah, and like that shit when your kids like to tell stories and stuff. Like, yeah, some people carry that to their adulthood where they just start fucking lying out their ass about shit, dude.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a kid thing to do, to be like, "Oh, I'm cool, I did this, dude." "Oh, fuck, you did that? I was just kidding, I didn't do that."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's one of like the best things about the day and age we live in is like so much of this like pedo shit is like finally coming to the forefront and like people are actually having real conversations about it slowly but surely. But like I mean, Molly and I before the podcast we were just watching a video about all these rock songs from like the 60s through the 80s that were talking about like how they want "You're Just 15" and like all like just like the Beatles, Bob Dylan, like so many people that like would be like renowned like figures like in rock and roll were just like talking about fucking 15, 16, 17-year-olds. It's like
and that's it. And that was the thing that like Kendrick Lamar, he said that if R. Kelly's music would be taken down, that he would take all his music down. I forget which platform it was, but he did that because of like the hypocrisy of like rock stars and stuff back in the day and white artists who have also done the same shit.
Yeah, it's a weird. That's a whole weird subculture that, like, you know, I think like it's, you know, it's weird because, you know, we both grew up like in the late 90s, 2000s
Yeah, late
and
90s
stuff.
too, yep.
And like those people who were prominent back then, we didn't even think about like the fact that they had 16, 17-year-old girlfriends or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Jay-Z was
yeah.
fucking Beyonce when she was 15 or whatever, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And like nobody even like talked about it or thought about it. And then you kind of grow up and you learn about that. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah,
People kinda fucked up.
Jay-Z, Dre too. Like Dre,
Oh.
like it's just like those two are like we're heavily backing Kendrick's side in the beef too, and it's just so hypocritical. Like your two main guys that are like backing you are both literally did the shit that you're accusing him, which is completely alleged. Like there's no evidence at all, and like these guys are on record beating up their girl, fucking dating teenagers, and it's just like the hypocrisy all around. It's just fucking crazy.
It really is, dude. And that's almost like, you know, as much as I was just saying this is a great thing, that's almost like kind of the bad side of the coin when it comes to the internet. It's like it almost seems like these people can just, despite whatever allegations, they can just like keep going and keep posting, and like there will always be an audience that will just ignore it and like you know.
For sure.
I remember we had I won't, to spare him I won't say his name, but we had a rapper come in for the podcast, the McAllister was like 4 years ago, and before we started he was talking about how he thought Bill Cosby was really innocent, and like he was saying like, oh, basically like, oh, they're just trying to take down the black man and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know if that's true, dude. It seems pretty
Yeah. And there's some people that
wild.
will do that because I don't know. There probably is a serious attack on black culture and like trying to take down strong black men. Like
Sure.
this weekend the NFL draft happened, but the main point of the thing is there was this quarterback who's Deion Sanders' son, really famous. He played football and basebis at the same time. Like went to the World Series and then was still playing football.
Oh, wow.
So he's like really famous for being just one of the best athletes ever. But his son, he coached him in college, and his son was like ranked no lower than 20th the whole time in the draft, and he slipped down. There's 32 picks in each round, and he slipped down to like the 5th round, the 144th pick, and he was like projected like top 5, like the main people who were projecting it. And it's like part of it was because Deion was like, I'm gonna pick where my son goes. Part of it is his son has some attitude problems, like he's pushed a ball boy who tried to take the ball away from one of his teammates, and like after he beat this quarterback, he was like, when he was shaking everybody's hand, and then he went up to him and just like kind of talked shit to him. So there's like a little bit of like ego, like I don't know, I don't want to say it's ego because I don't think it's bad to be confident. And there's like other families, like the Manning family. You probably have heard of at least Peyton and Eli Manning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like
sure.
Eli Manning, when he got drafted, they made him trade from the Chargers to the Giants, and like so like. It's kind of the double standard that they think the NFL was being like, you guys aren't bigger than you guys can't just bring your own seat to the table. You're not like a royalist football family. You're not going to do stuff like the Mannings. And like that's they think it's attack on like just being a strong like black man in like an industry ran by a bunch of powerful white dudes.
Yeah, modern day slavery, as they say.
Yep. Yeah.
But I mean, they're also making like 6 figures, you know.
Buku, but well, he just lost a shit ton. Like if he drafts in the first round, it's like millions. I think he's gonna make $200,000 a year, which he doesn't need money. His dad is Deion fucking primetime Sanders, and like I didn't mind not being in the first round, but there was some garbage that got drafted before him, and I do think and then the one team that drafted him is a team that like in 2018 Deion was like, I don't know if I'd want my son if he was a quarterback to play for the Browns, and he got drafted to the Cleveland Browns. Right, but they drafted a quarterback right before him too. It was so weird. They're such a shit organization. Fucking brain dead, dude. Like they're just gonna lose forever.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not into football.
Yeah, I mean it's something to keep into. Lots of drama, but yeah, that was the drama over the weekend on the attack on black culture, which I do semi-agree. I don't know how much evidence they're gonna be able to find. I think he's said thank God, you know, he was happy when he got drafted. I think maybe it did make him a little more humble, like check him back into reality, but
sure,
we'll see.
Yeah, people with ego need that. They need a good reality check.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I think people are overdoing it though, because it's just like the usual suspects are like, this boy needs he needs humbled up, and it's like everybody online, dude, and it's like there's no need for that. Like, and that's just like the situation at hand is people online get so offended over stuff that just like doesn't affect them at all, dude, and feel like they need to put people down.
Oh yeah, for real. Speaking of offensive things online, maybe we should talk about the.
Oh yeah,
thing you posted
why I just got on Facebook and was pissed off to start my day.
Let's Molly, let's pull up that video of the first tab. So this is a video of a bunch of Jewish people trying to attack this lady
who they think was a protester.
Let's
pro-Palestine.
Jesus. Let's report. Yeah, put that in full screen, please.
And it's just like some have to be like very orthodox, and who knows if they're all Jewish people.
Yeah, right.
Props to the cop, that big boy.
Mm-hmm. He was an Irishman. He was probably a big old Irishman.
Oh yeah, that's my boy.
I don't like any of these people, but
are they sure she's not Crip? And like this is scary. Like I didn't know until somebody commented that it was in New York, like exactly where this was happening. But yeah, this is New York City on April 24th, I believe.
Yeah.
Waste of semen. That's insane.
Yeah, that is crazy. They're just mad that they found out about their tunnel.
Dude, that's crazy. That's fucking nuts.
All right, we can pause this. But
yeah, basically a cop pulls up at the end and they like get her into the cop car and get, but like the fact that there's, I don't know, 100, at least 100 grown men chanting in the streets, "Death to Arabs," trying to attack one girl. Like if the cop wasn't there, who knows what happens? Or like it's not like me, I'd be like, I'd probably get jumped because I ain't fucking dealing with that shit, dude.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It's so hypocritical as a people who've went through what they did with the Holocaust to now just be singling out random women in the street screaming death to a whole nother race. Not even like not even the Palestine. Like that. It's just a part of it. Like a death to a whole nother race of people.
Exactly. Well, and, you know, I started listening to Fear and Loathing in the New Jerusalem by Dale Cooper. I don't know if you've ever heard that. I highly recommend it. It's a 6-part series about basically the history of the whole Israel-Palestine conflict. And in that, I haven't gotten to this part yet, but I've heard other people talk about it. In that, they like basically one of the best cases for the Israel side is like, in that time in 1947, like after World War II and everything, like they really did not have a place to live. Like they really were like, you know, there was still plenty of anti-Semitism. You know, they had the whole thing with the British and the Ottoman Empire, like promising everybody land, and like, you know, like Russia took over half of Germany and like was you know, slaughtering Jews. So like in their mind, it's like, okay, like 2 atomic bombs have just been dropped on Japan. We just got done with all this warfare. Like, what's cracking a few eggs really gonna do, right? So, like in the grand scheme of things, like in that time period, like it was almost in a way kind of understandable that like they would just take that. Okay, hey, we're just gonna take this little bit of land, right? Or we're just gonna create a government this little bit of land, right? But then obviously, you know, you fast forward 70 years later, you know, in the time and day and age we live in, it's like, yeah, you don't really get to use that as an excuse anymore. Like too much time has passed. You know, it's like if, I mean, this is kind of the reverse, I guess, but like if the Native Americans all rose up and started massacring the American population, like that would be fucked up. Like you can kind of understand.
You kind of get it.
But at the same time, like the action that you're taking is still wrong. And I think people really need to like just take themselves out of the past and be like, okay, where are we right now? And like, is where we're at right now, like, should we figure out the situation of what's happening right now instead of just going back to however many decades or hundreds of years to justify your actions now?
To justify what you're doing. And like the fact that you can live with that, I don't know, just like what Israel's doing right now and the fact that they are like justifying their actions with that, saying that it's Hamas, which only grew because of the fact that like you've been slaughtering their people for years. It's not like, this isn't just a last October thing. It's been the death count so much different like between Palestinians and Israel that it's insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, not even that. I mean, we talked about this on the podcast before, but like Netanyahu, like it planted Hamas, like almost to like create that desire of government, like that need for government, right? Like government is always in the game of creating wars because it is like the only way, not the only way, but it's one of the few ways that like they can justify their presence. Like it's no secret that like the reason that World War II ended for America, like we then started the Korean War, and then we went to Vietnam, right? Like we just kept it was all in like to snuff out communism, basically, even though it wasn't like. I guess in that logic, I don't agree with it, but I can at least understand the logic of like, okay, we're going to try to weed out communism in America, which they did do. Yeah. But like to then go to other countries and basically be like, it's like the whole argument of like, we're the world power. Yeah. Like we are the help for the world. And it's just like, the only people who really want that is the government and maybe a few citizens who are indoctrinated. But for the most part, like the culture of America has never been like as a whole, if you look at the middle class people, lower class people, they are not in the game of like saying, hey, we need to help all these other people. Like they want to help themselves first, which isn't bad, right? Yeah. Like if you are in that position where it's like, okay, like all this taxation, all this government spending is hurting us, is hurting our bottom dollar, then yeah, it's totally understandable that you would object to that and say, hey, maybe we should focus on, I don't know, like the homeless or like the fentanyl crisis, like maybe there are things that we can better use that for.
Yeah, quality of life for like not just the upper class, like for the lower class, try to just make life in general just better for sure. And I think that is the main problem. But then there's other people who think that America are peacemakers. They're like, we're some like country that goes in and helps people, and like what we're doing is just like we're a peaceful country that just want to like end the violence. And it's just like, it's not that. Like we get called in, like we talked about the 6 or 7 wars, that video that we watched. The
7 wars, yep.
Yeah, the 7 wars. It's like we fucking, our army went in there for Israel multiple times, dude, and over different things like oil and fucking 9/11. It's just like we went over that way.
Yeah, I can maybe understand mentally, like before the Middle East conflicts, like still having that mentality. I do not know how in 2025 people can still believe that like we're just trying to help people, like this whole innocent like, oh, we're just trying to help people across the world. Like,
no, it's money printing business. Like that's just what we're doing.
They're trying to make money. You're trying to do the same thing every fucking buddy is doing.
Yeah. What was that? The lady conservative who was running that like.
Nikki Haley?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god!
Didn't she like have investments into like some major like gun companies or something?
Oh, I'm sure that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, she was gonna be like a warmonger for sure.
Well, look at her father, right? He was one of the most evil men to ever.
Oh, really? I don't know about her father.
Oh, you don't know about Dick Cheney? You don't know about him?
Dick Cheney's her dad. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, dude.
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Oh no, wait, I'm thinking of Liz Cheney. Okay. No, Nikki Haley and Liz Cheney are two different people. I bet. Yeah. No, Nikki Haley was she was one of the leading tickets for the Republican Party. Yeah, they thought it was gonna be her or DeSantis. Like nobody thought Trump was gonna win again, and then Trump just annihilated all of them in Iowa. Yeah. I think it was 2 more electoral colleges that I think she finally dropped out. Her and DeSantis finally dropped out, but. She was like the last one to hold in there. I think DeSantis dropped out.
She did. She had some, but once I think that all came out, that she had some sort of investment or something into like major war companies. Like it just wasn't good.
Yeah, she was what they would call the woke right. Yeah, these days.
So what do you? Since we're talking about Trump and like just past what could have been. What do you think about the El Salvador camps? Did you see the Google images that came out?
I have not. Let's look this up.
Yeah, the Google images are like the map of the El Salvador camp, which they've cleaned it up recently, but it looked like there was just blood spots.
Oh, I remember you sending me that. Yeah. I think it's awful. I think that's been El Salvador
death camps.
Yeah, I think that's just deplorable behavior from Trump. I posted something on Twitter because who I don't know who the guy was.
I don't think it's any. Look up Google Maps. Put Google Maps at the end of it. Just go to,
that fourth one.
oh yeah,
The third, fourth one.
third and second and third too. Yeah, pretty much all those top ones. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, you sent me this picture before, but now that even looks clearer now that that's blood.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably edited to like
be.
yeah, to make it look a little bit, because it wasn't yeah, it didn't really look like that, but it did look like it could be like a pile of bodies. And that's where they sent the guy who they sent a guy over there who definitely wasn't supposed to be, and they just can't get a hold of him. The
MS-13 guy?
Yeah, who they were saying is MS-13.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know what the legitimacy of that is. Like, I've heard varying different things if he was actually MS-13 or if, like, they photoshopped his hands.
Dude, they posted, like, Trump was, like, he's not coming back, and we did it, like, just bragged about it after all this stuff came out. It's like, are we becoming a Nazi state, right? Like, in front of our, like, is that what's going on? And where are they going to draw the line? Like, to U.S., like, if they're just taking people who have rights to be here, who are citizens, that they're like, oh, find out after, like, well, he was MS-13, so we did it a favor. It's like, where's the line going to be drawn? If you're talking against the government and, like people are listening too, especially, like, are they going to come after you? And what are their rights going to be? What loophole are they going to find to try to send you out, saying that you're, like, not American or not a citizen because of how you're talking against the United States? No,
yeah, exactly. I think the line is going to get, it's going to expand even more to, like, okay, now, I mean, like, think like COVID, right? Like, think if that happened again in this climate. Like, if Trump was pro-vaccine, but, like, what if they started doing that, saying, like, hey, if you're not going to get vaccinated, we're going to deport you.
Yeah, and what's even scarier is how the people acted during COVID and how they treated people who didn't get vaccinated or didn't like follow the rules. Like, that's the scary thing, is the mob mentality after that, because they're scared. That was the thing about COVID, is they scared the fuck out of people. Yeah, to where people treated other people different, even though, like, COVID now, we look at it now and it's like,
not big deal.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, it definitely hurt people. Like,
yes, and
like,
people died. Deaths. Yes, it did. But, like, in the grand scheme, it wasn't like a very deadly disease. And, like, you can say that it was because we social distance and stuff. But, like, part of that time, the protests were happening. People were out in the streets.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
And then, like, it wasn't a very long shutdown in Iowa. Like, Florida was going hard pretty quick. Like,
well, yeah, and I mean, it's been a while since I've looked at this, but I think I remember, like, the cities that were more locked down actually had higher, like, cases and deaths. And that's kind of the problem, too, with all those, is, like, I know at least in the beginning, like, so if somebody, like, died and had COVID, they would count that as COVID death. Not, like, it was caused by COVID. So, like, if you, like, died of cancer, you had a heart attack.
That's true. How many flu? Do you think people just died of influenza? Like, says there's deaths for influenza, and I think the deaths for influenza were lower that year.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. Yeah, it's all fucked up, man. Well, going back to the MS-13 thing, I remember posting on Twitter, like, sharing that picture of Trump, and I was like, okay, if we did this to people with government badges, like, would that be okay? Yeah. Would it be okay for us to just start shooting everyone who's a government official? I mean, I don't think so. No. I don't think that's right. But it's the same mentality of these MS-13. I mean, I don't think it's accurate to say that everyone that's affiliated with a gang is, like, a bad person. Like, there's a very, like, can you look that up, actually, Molly, what the acronym for Bloods is? Like, the acronyms for Blood and Crips, it's mostly
and they
just
take care of each other, especially, and they'll do things that, like, they have to do. Like, I don't know, like, yeah, gangs are dangerous, and they will. But I mean, if you don't disrespect them and you just, like, don't associate with them, they're not really going to cause you a whole lot of issues.
While Crips and Bloods aren't acronyms in the formal sense, they've been given backronyms in some cases. Okay. Crips is sometimes associated with Community Restoration Progress, and Bloods with Blood Brothers or Brotherhood of Loyalty and Order. Additionally, Crips has been used in derogatory terms like Crip Killer by some Blood members. CK is a common acronym used by Bloods to represent Crip Killer. Okay. So maybe not like
but, like, that's
verbatim.
true. Like, Community Restoration, like Nipsey Hussle, Yeah, like LA, huge. Like really tried to build his communities up, and like that's what he was known for, and that's why it sucks that he got shot dead in his own community.
Yeah, well, I think the thing you have to think about when you think about this is like, yes, like when these gangs commit violence, that's not good. Like I want to state that like for the record, like it's not good when they commit violence. It's not good when they steal from people. Like those things are awful.
Yeah.
But what does the government do? They do the same fucking thing. So I think it's really hypocritical to say like, okay, we're just going to give in to this gang, like the U.S. government. We're going to say, okay, what that gang is doing is okay, but this gang isn't. Like if you were to say that every person who identifies with one of these organizations, one of these gang members, is vilified, then you can make that same logic about the government.
Yeah,
and that's just
of
not
the
true.
evil shit it's just like we know, like there's stuff that's coming out, like there's some evil shit that happens behind the scenes, and even like in local communities, like cops can do bad shit all the time, but you can't like they don't want us to judge cops on one bad apple who fucking put their knee on a black man's neck and fucking until he died. Like,
exactly.
But they don't want us to say all cops are bad, even though that's a fucking evil thing to do. Yeah, so definitely hypocritical, but they're doing what they got to do to try to really just mass expedite like illegal citizens. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've never supported the mass deportation stuff, but I feel like if you were to do it by legal status, I can at least wrap my head around the idea.
And it's just like not peaceful. I was watching them break into like they were like, we're waiting for our lawyer, and they like were fucking busted open the back window to try to unlock the fucking front door, dude. They were just like they waited for a little while, but like it's like these ICE agents are not friendly. They're dickheads. They look like dickheads. They look like they're there to intimidate you and and like once they get you, who knows? Like you're probably not gonna find you. You're gonna get sent to a camp, probably get sent away, and who knows? And like then you got shit like those camps and like those Google images popping up. It's like if those truly are like modern day concentration camps, like where people don't have rights, they don't even have like living conditions.
Yeah,
really. It's disgusting.
It really is. Well, and there are people that will just continue to justify that based on that same like ideological idea of like we're the good guys, they're the bad guys. There are plenty of people that are in these organizations that like are just part of a community. Like they just even if they have the tattoos and everything, like maybe they just have a friend that's like involved or like a family member, and then they kind of like this community, despite whatever bad they're like, they rationalize it the same way people rationalize the U.S. government. They're like, okay, even though these communities do bad things, they give us protection, they help us with food or whatever, and that's not good, but like it's like what I just said. Like it's really hypocritical to say on this side it's not good, and on this side
the world's not
is.
black and white.
Exactly.
And it never has been. And I feel like people get caught up in that sometimes, and there's a lot of gray area, and it's just like you should have more empathy and compassion because people are living their lives like all over the world, and right now we're supporting a genocide where we're trying to keep peace in Ukraine and Russia, I guess, but like we're just like we've got our hands in wars, whether or not we're like fully in them, like we're taking a part of them. And we just need to call out when we see bullshit, we got to call it out, because there's like if you don't, and you're just a part of the wheel that keeps on turning, and it just gets more evil. So you need to have people who are going to speak up and at least talk about the wrongdoings that are going to happen.
I 100%
that are
agree,
happening.
man. Well, I don't know if you saw this, but I think Trump did say that for now we're at least going to stay out of Iran, which is good.
God.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts, but like that is a good sign at least.
Well, that might just be like, we're going to stay out of Iran, and then Israel's like, fucking put on the throats, and then it's like, then they're going to do something. But I mean, is there even like, there's no free in Palestine anymore. That place is fucking just destroyed. It's leveled. It's like, we're trying to just save what we can at this point now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and shit, remember when they had the peace deal for that, and then like not even a week later they kept doing their same bullshit on Gaza. It's like, okay, like, and and that's such a hypocritical thing too, is like they will say like, oh well, we gave them peace treaties, we only gave them 20% of their land back, but they didn't agree to that.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be nice to their neighbors.
And who knows what condition the land was back that they gave them in. Like, it's just gets so crazy how demolished that place is.
Yeah, well, and the land that they initially took was like, it was like the only port in the play. Like
that's
it had like a strategic advantage.
Yep.
To the rest of the country.
Yep, and I think that's another. We want a port to. What was the big port we're trying to compete with? Like then that's like another conspiracy. They're like, why this happened is to open up that port.
Did you see the Douglas Murray Dave Smith debate?
No.
You've never been. You didn't see any of that stuff? Oh God. We're at the hour, but let's pull this clip up real quick. You've never been. Just type in "you've never been," and I'm sure it'll pop up on YouTube. But there was this debate between. So Dave Smith, I've been following him for a long time. He's a libertarian, anarcho-capitalist type of guy. And he did a debate with Douglas Murray. He's on like, I wouldn't even say he's on the pro-Palestine side, but he's like anti-Israel. He's very against what Israel's doing. And Douglas Murray's like very pro-Israel. He just wrote a book about like the dangers of
Wiz Khalifa never been fucking banger though.
Here, just go back to all and just hit that first clip. It's got to be that. Yeah, here we go.
Have you been to the crossing points?
No. Oh, okay. This is still good though.
Have you not there at all?
I've never been.
You've never been. You've never been. Never been.
Never be. Never be.
Okay, you can stop it there. But
Never been.
basically in the interview, he said that like he didn't even like, he kept going back and like he was like basically inferring that like he didn't really have a right to talk about the conflict because he had never been to the the crossing points. Even though Douglas Murray, like he just got escorted by the IDF, so it's like that's like he's not gonna get like a fucking real sense of the thing, right?
Yeah,
he's just gonna go on an IDF tour and be like, oh well, this is the Palestinians are totally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was like making this argument during the podcast where he was like it's just weird. He'd be like, what? So you're saying I can't talk about it because I haven't been? He's like, no, I'm not saying that, but you really should be there. You know, like he was just trying to undermine his credibility. It was just a shitty tactic.
Yeah. Probably. I'm not gonna take opinions from people who are going on IDF tours either. To be honest, like I'm not.
It's like when it's
any association, really. Right? Like, I want me to just hit up Gal Gadot and be like, "Oh yeah, dude, let me get your opinion on this real fucking situation." No, fuck no.
Yeah, well, it was like the Middle East, you know, like journalists would go with like the U.S. Army, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, well, everything's totally justified." It's like, yeah, of course you're gonna come to that conclusion.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
I highly recommend. Like, if you haven't seen that interview, I just
it's on Joe Rogan. Douglas Murray.
Yeah, it's been really viral since. Like, it's that whole "you've never been," like that's gonna follow him forever.
You for real already have a music video to it. That's funny.
Literally every time I see stuff on Twitter or YouTube, the comments are always like, "I would comment in this video, but I can't because I wasn't in the studio or something." Every comment's that. Like that's gonna haunt him for the rest of his life. Well, and well deserved, because I always used to have a lot of respect for Douglas Murray. Like I remember one time on like the Lex Friedman podcast, he Lex Friedman tried to do have him steel man or straw man something, and he was just like, no, I refuse to do that because I think that whole idea is bullshit, which I respect. Try steel man pedophilia. Like, no, you can't. Like, that's just wrong.
Fucking get Jay in here. What would you rather? No, dude, I do not want to answer that.
There's no answer. They're both bad.
Yeah,
okay?
no.
I'm not gonna pick between those two. But he did that then. But then when it comes to Israel, of course, all of his convictions and morals don't matter. Like he just has to, or he just gets to, play the ignorant card.
Yep. Good for you.
Good for you, man. Well, I am kind of looking forward. I mean, I am and I'm not. If Nate decides to come through.
Oh, Nate will come through.
He will.
Yeah.
I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah, he's definitely leans towards the right now. Like, I've been through a lot with Nate. Like, we've been on both sides. I'm pretty sure that he was probably Democrat when I hung out with him, but maybe not. But yeah, he's definitely leaning more that way. Definitely a God-fearing man, as he would put it himself too. And like,
sure,
I have nothing against that. Like, I don't have anything against religion. I may not follow it as strongly as some of the people in my life, but I'm also never going to disrespect that because it's just like it's what they feel, and you can't tell people whether they felt God in their life or not. They truly could have. I think it could get loud. Nate's loud and boisterous, but I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good content, and I think it'll be a good way to get two sides of it, and I think there will be education on both sides too. Because even when I messaged him, like it was during the chopper thing where like the people they gunned down the festival, and then like they have the rounds on file that they unloaded rounds that day on the festival from multiple choppers. And he was like, all right, I'm going to look into that more. Like, he's down to see other points, too, which is good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I personally am curious because I don't think since this conflict I've met someone who's pro-Israel. I think everyone I've talked to in person is like, yeah, fuck Israel. So I don't know if that's just a bias of the area. I don't know if our generation's just more in tune to being like, yeah, this is fucked up, what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. But so it will be interesting to kind of get that perspective.
Yeah, I think the people who are pro-Israel are probably quiet. I mean, which is another
Unless you're
thing.
New York.
For real, Jesus Christ, fucking with your dumbass hats, dude.
You know, I was looking at because I thought maybe it'd be funny for like a bit to like get some Jewish hats, the whatever they call the yarmulkes or whatever.
Oh boy.
I saw one that it was red. It had Trump on it. I was like, it's come full circle.
Oh my god, dude, that would be classic.
The only time I would wear Trump memorabilia.
Fucking, yeah, oh my god. Well, fucking me and Lauren will lift you up on a chair, bro.
We do on the episode Nate, and we just have him sitting here, and then you both we walk through, and I'm just on a chair. I wear like one of like the cone noses or something like that. All right, let's wrap this bitch up. We're over the hour.
And last thing, JJ, every time that we book you for the podcast, there's always something, you motherfucker. Last time you showed up late. This time he says he pulled up to the gas station to put gas in, and then he goes to start his vehicle, and it doesn't start. But there's no diesel on the tank. So he's like, I swear it was super unleaded. I think it's bullshit, James. And now you owe us 2 podcasts. So,
yeah.
Be ready.
Be ready. I think he just filled up with water.
Wait, I just saw on your TikTok.
How old is that man? He doesn't know how to fill a fucking tank of gas.
I mean, nothing surprises me with old James, dude. I don't know. I think he's bullshitting me, and he can argue all he wants. I think he just was like, you know what? A trip to Des Moines doesn't sound like a good time today.
Hey, I feel it. I've been there.
Yeah,
fucking
that's fair.
Last weekend, I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling the episode.
Yeah, I was sick anyway. I don't think I could have made it. Yeah, I mean, I was on the up, and it took me a couple days. That shit was bad, but yeah, so it kind of worked out last week. But,
yeah, gotta take a break every once in a while.
Yeah, man. For real, especially when we need to kick off a podcast host.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see you, just us two, next week.
Yeah, Lo's gonna hear all this shit talking. He's not gonna come back.
Sorry, we'll just put up a new logo.
And the can's black too, so it fits even better.
We need to lighten it up a little bit, honestly.
Make it brown. Yeah. All right. Peace out, you cunts.
Later.